What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. We have a 2011 Kia Soul. As you can see, it's pretty dirty, but the owner of this car got it for free. The engine blew in this one, so her friend gave it to her, so she didn't want to put any money into it, so she's going to put another engine in it. But the engine I have, we're going to put a timing belt on it before we even put it in the car, because it is a used engine and it's got, I think, like 115,000 miles or something like that on it. So we're going to change the timing belt first, and then we'll put it in here. There will be a video of me taking this engine out. I don't know how soon it'll be up, but there will be one of me changing out this, show y'all how to do it. But I just want to let y'all know what y'all need to take off in order to get to this. It's just kind of rough, a rough idea of what you have to take off. Sorry, having a hard time talking today. You need to take off the power steering pump, alternator, and AC compressor. And when I say take off, I mean you just pull them off and set them to the side. You don't have to pull them off completely. Remove the power steering reservoir, this mount, and the main mount that bolts to the body, and then you can get to the cover on the top. Then you should be able to take the pulley on the water pump off. It's for 10 millimeters, and then you can take the harmonic balancer off and pull the lower cover off, and then you get access to the actual timing belt. But I'm gonna bring y'all in the garage and give y'all a little bit more in-depth view. It's just easier for me to show you because there's not a lot of room inside of the car itself. But I just kind of wanted to show y'all what it looks like before we do it, whenever you get going into this, when it's still in the car. So let me bring you into the garage and then we'll get going on this. Alright, here we are. The power steering pump would sit up here, alternator down here, then your AC compressor is over here. Here's that tensioner on the bottom I was talking about. You loosen this right here, and then it's got a bolt on the back that you can slide, and it takes the belt off for the power for the AC compressor. And here's your water pump right there. Like I said, 4 10-millimeter bolts. You'll have to take it off just so you can get the cover off. And the motor mount would sit right here. There's another bolt right there. Once you take it off, you can take this piece right there off. Set it to the side, and then what we'll have to do after that, after you get all the belts and everything off, you'll have to go down and lift up the engine a little bit while it's in the car, just so you can get access to the water pump bolts right there. Like I said, those are 10 millimeters, should be 4 of those. And put some gloves on real quick. And the reason I'm doing this outside of the car, because it's a lot easier to do this outside of the car. And I got to do an engine swap on it anyway. Perfect time to do it. Also, I forgot to tell you, there's 2 pulleys on this. One, this little round one right here, goes on first. You can see the marks on the back, and then they just go in like that. And just line up the notches, because there's going to be notches on both of them. And there should be a notch on the water pump itself too. Alright, now we got it to this point. We're going to go ahead and take this harmonic balancer off right there. And I believe that right there is like a 21 or a 22. I cannot remember. Let me grab an impact and some sockets, and we'll take that off. Alright, so it is a 22, and this engine is pretty much at top dead center already, right there, according to the timing cover. Sometimes these right here will pull out, sometimes they won't. This one feels like it's going to, because it is already rocking. Yeah, she's coming. You just have to work it back and forth a little bit. But it is coming. It It is keyed. There is a Woodruff key in there. This is your bolt right there. It does have a thick washer with it. Now, next thing that we need to do is start taking all these timing cover off on here, and every one of those should be a 10mm. Now, with it in the car, sometimes it makes it easier to pull this right here off, and that's the back part of the motor mount bracket. Right here in this hole, so we know that this engine had a timing belt before because somebody's already painted up inside of there. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it's like a little notch, and somebody's already painted it. I'm trying to see if I can get y'all where you can see it. So there's like a little notch right there. Somebody painted that red, and you should be able to look through this hole and it should line up with that notch. And then see that paint mark, there's a little dot right there, and then behind there there's like a little arrow. I'm gonna see if I can show it to you a little bit better, but that little dot is in between these two teeth, and the little arrow should point right there in between the two teeth. So we know that the timing marks are lined up. Now what we can do is go ahead and start taking all the timing components off. The tensioner has a little Allen key right there, and that's what you use to put tension onto it, but we'll go over that whenever we start putting the belt on. But this bolt right here should be a 12, and I believe that one is a 14. Yeah, a 12 and a 14. I don't know if my little impact driver has enough in it to break this loose. I actually did. Kind of surprised. That's your tensioner assembly. We do have a new one. Now this one I'm not quite sure. And we should have a new idler as well. Now with everything off, should be able to pull the belt right off. Which belt actually looked pretty good. Got a little bit of wear, nothing major on it. So there's our timing belt. Now everything is lined if you want to. Some kits come with a new front crank seal, some of them don't. So and then some come with a new cam seal and some of them don't. Depending on what kit you got, depends on if you got the seals or not. So I didn't get the seals because I did take the covers off before, and you can tell that they did get a new seal up here because it's not leaking, and then this one down here doesn't really look that bad either. We're just going to leave those, and then next time that we do the timing belt, because I think the timing belt intervals on this is about every 100,000 miles, so the next time we do it we'll change it. Also, another thing is, in my kit I did get the water pump also, so we're going to go ahead and change the water pump while we have it out. And to do this, we're going to have to take this bracket right here off. Once we remove that, then we got 3 more bolts that hold the water pump on. I figured it had a little bit of coolant in it. Let me grab a hammer and I'll just tap that off. Still got a good bit of water in it. From the factory they have a metal gasket on there. The one that we have is a paper gasket. The kit that we got is from SKP. The water pump number is SK1462020. So the torque spec on all of these is about 19 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go to 20 foot-pounds on all of them, because it's like 19.7. Alright, there's one. All the water pump bolts are torqued. Now we can start putting the timing belt on. Sometimes these can have timing marks on them. This one does not. Here's our idler. Sure everything's still lined up right. And here's our new tensioner. You can see that just swivels around. Alright, so I forgot I got to put this on before we put the timing belt on, because I can't get this around the timing belt too good, the release pin. So these little notches right here go inside this freeze plug area. Now don't tighten this down all the way to where you can't move this. You see whenever you rotate that, how it moves. With a little bit of tension on it already. Alright, but once you get it on there and pushed back, you should be good. And now you can see how loose it is. Alright. Now I gotta go get an Allen wrench put in here. I don't know what size it is, but we gotta put tension on that right there. Now, once we have this in, I got my Allen wrench. You're gonna go ahead and pull the pin. It's gonna put some tension on it. Now, let me get y'all in here a little bit. Right there, there's a little notch. You're gonna use your Allen wrench and you're going to put it inside of that little notch, about right there. Then you're going to torque it down. So, like I said, I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little notch, and the little point on that indicator needs to go right there. And then once it's right there, you're going to hold it with your Allen wrench and torque down the bolt. So, let me get this set up and get my torque wrench set, and then I'll bring y'all back. The tensioner torques to 21 foot-pounds, and the idler is going to torque to 40 foot-pounds. And it is a little awkward holding that. So here, it's still good. We are in the middle. And now we're going to torque down the idler. There we go. Now that we have everything on, what we're going to do is rotate it over a few times and make sure that everything looks good and everything is still in time. So rotate it over probably 3 or 4 times, and then come back and check all your timing marks again, just to make sure everything is good and that there's no binding. We rotated it over 4 times and everything still lines up good. So I'm gonna have to probably use my impact to remove that crank bolt. Shouldn't take much. I didn't think so. Drop it. Now we can start putting our timing covers back on, so we know everything is good to go. Alright, so the crank bolt torques to 123 foot-pounds. Since I have it on the engine hoist right here, I do have a screwdriver through the flex plate in the back holding it against it. But if you do not have the engine out and you're in the car, you may have to get somebody under the car to hold the actual flywheel for you while you do this. But like I said, it is 123. Alright, which really isn't a whole lot when it comes to terms of a crank bolt. I have seen them way more than 123. And lastly, final step in this video will be to put your water pump pulleys on. Like I said, they are notched, so they only go on one way. It's a little harder whenever the engine is moving and swaying on you like it is with me. Yours won't have this problem if you're doing it in the car, but you will have space constraints on you. That's the difference. Alright, I'll zip them on with my impact driver. And there we go. That is putting a timing belt on one of these. Like I said, you'll have to put like all your accessories back on, all your belts back on, the motor mount and all that stuff. But this is pretty much the basics of putting one of these timing belts on right there. Like I said, the only reason I want to do it this way is to show y'all exactly how to do it and all that good stuff. All right. There we go. I wanted to move that back top dead center. I don't know, just bugged me a little bit. But this is going to end this video. If y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell if you haven't done so. And until next time, y'all remember, torque this tight, and y'all have a great day.